We're into July now, and today we'll be looking at the movers and shakers of what's been going on in the Pokemon market right now. Things, from what I've seen recently, I would say cooling off. It depends on what it is, right? It really does depend what it is. If it's Scarlet and Violet era, 100% agree, right? We are seeing a lot of stuff from the most recent era falling in price, right? We're talking about raw prices here, and even graded as well. But then if you look back at like Sword and Shield and Sun and Moon, completely different story. So today we'll be looking at TCG Player at the movers and shakers right at the start of July. The fact is that we're now in the 7th month of the year, and it's been a crazy 6 months, right? The first 6 months have been absolutely wild. I'm hoping things calm down. I just have a strange feeling it won't, but we'll see what happens. Right, so let's jump into this one. Alright, so we're looking at the biggest movers and shakers. We're looking at English, and we're also going to be looking at Japanese as well, because things have been moving pretty much across the board. So of course, we're now into July. This is at the back end of June, so it's going to be really interesting to see what has been moving around in the market recently. Now, of course, recently I've been in the thick of it, trying to grade a crap ton of cards, and it's quite interesting to see what's going on with the single cards. Now, as a rule, I tend not to pick up like a huge amount of single cards unless like they're really, really good quality, and then I might want to grade them, but I don't tend to just buy whatever I feel like. Although, saying that, I am going to be buying a whole collection at the end of this month, which I'll be taking you guys through the whole process of that happening, which is going to be really exciting as well. So let's jump into this anyway. Let's see what has been going on, of course. Destin Rivals is obviously the most recent set. We're just before Black Bolt and White Flare. So let's see what's been going on. I mean, to be honest, if I look at it straight away, we're looking at some Destin Rivals cards already. So we've got Team Rocket's Meowth, which is the first card today, was illustration rare. Now, I actually did pull this, like one of the very few illustration rares from the very small amount of, I'm going to say of Team Rocket then, of Destin Rivals that I've opened. Like, I think I've even like a very, very small sample, like not even half a booster box. And this is the only illustration rare that I've managed to pull. It's a super durable one. I actually really like this, but this one has been falling. Of course, like you expect more and more of Destin Rivals as being open, and it's normally the way when a new set comes out, cards tend to drop. Why? Because obviously packs are getting cracked open, more of them's hitting the market, so it's bound to happen. The thing is though, with Destin Rivals, because the booster box prices and the sealed product is still so high, it means that people are paying obviously a much higher inflated price to open up the packs and so on and so forth, which will keep a lot of the single card values a little bit higher than maybe they would be normally. Right now, if Destin Rivals booster box was at retail or under retail, a card like Meowth would be even less. So keep that in mind, that the price of the sealed product is keeping up a lot of these cards from sets like this, you know. Dark Dragonite coming in. Wow, this is an old school card. Team Rocket returns. Damn, that is a long time ago. Over the past 3 months, I mean, it hasn't really done much recently. However, if we go back over the past month, it's got up a little bit, right? Especially in the reverse holo, it's definitely jumped up recently. So there's been a steady climb this year, but the ticked off looking Dragonite from Team Rocket Returns, which released way back in 2004. Damn. That was when I stepped away from the hobby, that was. A non-reverse holo printed Dragonite has spent the last 5 years hovering right in the $20 range, remaining remarkably consistent throughout the volatility of the early COVID years. But 2025 has been a big year for Dragonite. It began ticking up slowly back in January, and by the end of February it had climbed to $25. I know that it doesn't seem like a lot, right? But from 20 to 25 is still pretty impressive, especially in like a month, right? That was the first hint of movement, and it never really stopped on this one. And so just slowly picking up steam every week until now. Another strong week has Dragonite pushing almost 40. So we're seeing a card that's doubled now in value. All about Team Rocket. And the thing is, with like Destin Rivals, it's a really successful set. A lot of people like it, and it was bound to happen, right? That we were going to have lots of cards that were kind of tied to Team Rocket, you know, whether it be the Persian or from Shadow Fable and so on and so forth, or older cards, drawing Hidden Fates as well. So yeah, it was bound to happen with the release of Destin Rivals, and there's one of them. And we've got Dark Slow King, so another Team Rocket's return. Oh, they should have brought back Dark Pokemon. Like, they should have. like dark versions of stuff. I think that was a kind of a real big miss there. Do you know what I mean? It says, as you might expect, Dragonite isn't the only one in the ancient set climbing. Dark Slowbro has nearly doubled, up from $25 to almost $50 so far this year, while Dragonite, previous Evolution Dark Dragonite, has almost doubled from $8 to $15 in the past 2 months. Dark Tyranitar has climbed $5 in just the last 6 weeks. Team Rocket is popular. I mean, yeah, absolutely, especially the older cards. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of older cards, but it is kind of interesting. So we have here Hawlucha. This is a deck exclusive. Interesting. It's basically, I would assume this is it's basically a playable card. Wow, we've seen this card go from literally like 80 cents to $4. Holy smokes, that is a boom and a half. Wow, okay, there you go. Playable cards, keep them out for those ones. Look at the Greninja and Zoroark GX from Unbroken Bonds. This is the full art tag team. Wow, this one's seen a big jump recently. I mean, look at the past 6 months. It slowly gained, right? It went from like $17 and it just plateaued, what felt like, for the majority of this year. But only recently, in the past month, pretty much, from less than $30 now up to nearly $50. And then we got the Gardevoir and Sylveon. I think this one's way better. Again, from Unbroken Bonds, this is the full art one. I'm not a huge fan of the full art tag team. I collect, well, a couple of years ago, I collected a lot of the regular tag team GXs. I just loved them, right? Not the arts, just the regular ones. And then the full art ones, I was a bit and I wasn't a huge fan of. The rainbow ones, I didn't mind. And obviously the arts are amazing. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Gardevoir Sylveon, like full art. I love like the idea of them and stuff, but just any of the full arts doesn't appeal to me that much. But this one has been doing really relatively well over the past 6 months. I mean, it has, the start of this year, has tricked up from 30 and then it went up to like 60. And I'm looking at $80. Holy smokes. Broken Bonds, very, very expensive set. Like, I wish I kept a booster box, but I didn't. Which was a shame, but you never know down the line. It might be a very, very pricey buy, but you have to wait and see, you know, for the collection more than anything else. So it says here, looking back at the Psychic Parent, the price was a steady $25 for the past 2 years. But like many of the cards we're talking about today, things have changed very quickly as the year changed over. The thing is like, it says it's climbed up to $40 by the end of February, and then obviously now look at it, right? Now, that's it. This year has been such a big boom. It's just had this huge ripple effect, not only across different, you know, generations, but also across cards that necessarily wouldn't move. You know, haven't moved for a long time. So it's a really weird time we're in. It is. Eevee and Snorlax is a full art. Holy smokes! Look at the price of this big boy. I mean, it's from Team Up, so you know, that kind of explains it. But even then, I mean, this was like a $40-$45 card for like the longest time over the past year. And the start of this year started to trickle up, you know, looking around $60-$70. And then bang, it's now nearly $200. Holy smokes. Team Up we've seen, like, we'll just tag team, but Team Up especially, we've seen just keep going, strength to strength to strength to strength. And then again, Eevee, Prismatic, you know, that whole thing's that caused one another boom. And it's just been a knock-on effect this whole year, really, especially with a lot of these cards. Over here now, this iconic pair of Pokemon is not necessarily an iconic pairing, but printed in 2019's Team Up, this duo has followed the same trend in the last 2, but supercharged it. Eevee and Snorlax 171 began the year around $50, but went through its first spike back in March when it exploded from 60 to almost 120 in a month. Wow, doubled in a month. That's ridiculously impressive. Well, now we're looking at $190. So, I mean, that's just to give you guys an example. I mean, anything Team Up is just going up to the moon, baby. So we looked at English. Let's take a look at Japanese and let's see what's been going on in Japanese. I wonder if we haven't quite similar stuff. So we have here tag teams. This time we're looking at a normal tag team. I haven't really collected or picked up any Japanese tag team. I know they do go for quite a bit less than English. I wonder how, like, I mean, I guess they grade better, but I wonder how much they've really grown. So this one's the Greninja and the Zoroark, of course. This one was from Tag Team GX All-Stars. Wow, that's an expensive box. I remember that set. So we're looking at $15. Has done relatively well. It did dip around about 9. So it's been doing pretty decent over the past 6 months. We were looking at basically a $6 card and it's now more than doubled in value over the past year. Yeah, pretty much the same. So very, very good. The fact that this card's nearly doubled in value is pretty good, actually. Then you know the alt art, and this is expensive. This in English is ridiculously expensive. And I do like the artwork of that. Again, this one is from Night Unison. Didn't really open up much Sun and Moon back in the days of like the Japanese sets. But yeah, I do remember Tag Team All Stars, but this one I don't remember as much. Looking around $90 over the past year, or okay, we don't get a year, 6 months then. We're looking at about $50. So from 50 going up to nearly 90. Japanese tag teams as well is making a big move. So keep an eye out, right? Keep an eye out on a lot of those. Reshiram and Zekrom GX from Dream League. Oh, I remember Dream League being ridiculously cheap, like insanely cheap for booster packs, and that's like ridiculously expensive, right? Over the past 6 months, this card's gone from an $8 card to what? Gone from $8 to nearly $36. Good lord! I think I have this in English. I'm not 100% sure. I need to actually have a look, but I'm like 90% sure that I have this in English. But holy smokes, this thing's going like an absolute beast right now. Dragonite alt art coming in. This one is from Blue Sky Stream. Now everyone went mad for EV Heroes, right? EV Heroes was just the bee's knees, right? It was just the best. And there were 3 different sets that made up Evolving Skies. You had EV Heroes, Blue Sky Stream, and Towering Perfection. I remember Towering Perfection was pretty poor, right? Whereas Blue Sky Stream, you had the Rayquazas, so it was like, oh, hang on a minute, that's pretty cool. You got the Dragonite in there as well. Very, very expensive. Holy smokes, $230 over the past 6 months. I mean, it's gone up a little bit. It's gone up like over 10-15%, but that's still pretty wild, right? Red's Pikachu Sun and Moon promo coming in. All right, let's take a look at this one. So this one's gone from $109 up to $160. Good lord! I mean, even a promo, Japanese, pretty cool promo though. I do like that. And then we've got a few more stuff that's making moves here. We got the Umbreon coming in. I know a lot of people do like these artworks. Personally, I'm not a fan, but they are quite funny. I must admit, they are quite funny. So we do have the Umbreon here. So over the past 6 months, this card's gone from a $46 card to $90, so doubled in value over the past 6 months. Then we've got the Leafeon. Look at that face. This one coming in over the past 6 months, we're looking around about $20, nearly doubling at $38. Holy smokes. So again, if you do, I know a lot of people are collecting these style evolutions. If you have them, keep hold of them, baby, because I think they're going to continue to keep going up, which is really interesting to see. So Japanese also, especially the tag teams, has really surprised me, making moves. So keep that in mind if you're looking at that. There you have it, guys. Those are the market movers at the end of June coming into July. Pretty much, if it's got tag team, Sun and Moon era, incredible. Sword and Shield, incredible. Japanese is doing relatively well across the board, which is really, really good. For me personally, right now, I'm kind of like focusing on picking up Scarlet and Violet because they're relatively cheap. A lot of Sun and Moon stuff, I kind of wish I picked up in the past, if I'm being honest. Especially a lot of the tag teams. I do have a lot of the regular tag teams, but like none of the old arts or any of that crazy shenanigans and stuff. But yeah, pretty impressive, right? And it's kind of these things like, okay, well, what else is going to be next? Like, what type of like subset of card types that are going to boom in the future? I actually think it's going to be illustration rares. I talked about like trainer gallery cards about a year ago, and they did actually pick up a little bit of steam recently, especially at the beginning of this year. And then we obviously alt arts from Sun and Moon, tag teams now. So it's like, okay, well, what's the next thing? Is it going to be alt arts from Sword and Shield? Is it going to be illustration rares in the future from Scarlet and Violet? Like, what's the deal? What's happening? But right now, things are pretty much going up if you're in the Sword and Shield and in the Sun and Moon era. But if you're in Scarlet and Violet, things are going down. It's really, really interesting to see what has been happening. And I expect this summer to find even more cards going down in price, especially you get more and more just like people getting packs ripped open, more like restocks / reprints coming, especially when it comes to Scarlet and Violet. However, expect a lot of the older stuff that's out of print and hard to get hold of to keep trickling up. And sometimes they do stop and they do plateau. We've seen it already cards today that just stay there for ages, literally years, and then something causes it, boom, to spike up, and that's what ends up happening. If you enjoyed the video and you've enjoyed it, make sure to smash the like button, make sure to subscribe for more Pokemon content. Guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments on what has been going on right now out of these cards and which one is your favorite. For me, I love tag team. Just across the board, tag team cards are absolutely incredible. So yeah, for me, just any tag team I think is just really good right now. And I like just cards that have multiple artworks in them, which is awesome. I just like cards that have multiple Pokemon in them, which is just awesome. That's it for me, guys, in today's video. For more Pokemon content, make sure to click the video on the screen, and of course, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You guys are legends, and I'll see you next one.